spotted an alligator with an object in his mouth. As the detectives got closer, they fired one round to the alligator. The alligator dropped the object that he had in his mouth.
Yeah, pull him out a little bit.
We are sorry that it had to end this way.
In the quiet city of St. Petersburg, Florida, a horrific and heartbreaking story unfolded. What began as a missing persons case quickly turned into a tragedy that shocked the local community and made national headlines. This is the story of Pashun Jeffrey and her young son, Taylon Mosley. Two innocent lives lost, taken in the most brutal way imaginable. March 30th, 2024, started out as an ordinary morning in St. Petersburg, a city known for its sunny weather and quiet streets. But for one mother and her 2-year-old son, that morning would be anything but ordinary. 21-year-old Pashun Jeffrey, a loving mother and daughter, woke up like any other day. She had her son, Taylon Mosley, to care for, a little boy with a bright smile and a future full of promise. But by the afternoon, Jeffrey was dead, and Taylon was gone. Jeffrey's body was discovered at 2:30 p.m. Thursday afternoon after her family asked apartment staff to do a welfare check on her. Before they can reach the door, they spot blood on the sidewalk. The young mother was found lifeless on her bathroom floor with over 100 stab wounds. But it wasn't just the loss of Jeffrey that made this case so disturbing. It was the disappearance of her 2-year-old son, Taylon. He was nowhere to be found. Was he a victim too? Had he been abducted? Or was something more sinister at play? As soon as police discovered Jeffrey's body, they immediately launched a search for little Taylon. Neighbors described Taylon as a sweet, energetic child, a boy with a contagious laugh and a love for playing. But as the search continued, it became increasingly clear that the situation was grim. Days passed without a sign of Taylon, and with each passing hour, hope for a safe recovery dwindled.
If anyone out there is watching this and knows where Taylon is, just what message do you give to that person?
Please bring Taylon home.
Say something. He needs his family
home safely. He needs his family.
The community, gripped by fear and sadness, rallied together. Volunteers combed through nearby parks, abandoned buildings, and wooded areas. Yet there was no sign of the young boy. The case gained national attention. Local news stations broadcasted updates on Taylon's disappearance. Authorities conducted interviews with those close to Jeffrey's, hoping to find any lead that could point them in the right direction. Then, just days after the initial search began, a breakthrough came, a chilling discovery. Taylon's body was found. His small, lifeless body was located in a nearby body of water in the mouth of a 13-foot alligator. The discovery of Taylon Mosley's body was devastating, not just for the community of St. Petersburg, but for all those who had been following the story. The young boy, who had so much potential, was gone. And with his death, the tragic story of his mother's murder became even darker. The investigation began to point to someone close to Jeffrey's. While authorities were careful not to release too many details early on, it was clear that the answers would not be simple. Jeffrey's death and the death of her child were linked, and as the police dug deeper, they would find that the tragedy was rooted in a much darker and more dangerous place. Authorities soon began questioning people close to Jeffrey's, and evidence pointed them to a suspect, her ex-boyfriend and the father of little Taylon, Thomas Mosley. His name was not initially revealed to the public, became the focus of the investigation. According to authorities, there had been previous reports of domestic violence in their relationship, an all too familiar pattern that had tragically led to this devastating outcome. Mosley was unaccounted for until 9:03 p.m. that night when he showed up at his mother's house with gashes on his hands and arms, consistent with injuries caused by slippage during a knife attack. He admitted himself into St. Anthony's Hospital to treat his wounds, but he was reportedly not cooperating with law enforcement while in the hospital. Investigators determined Mosley left Jeffrey's apartment at around 8:42 p.m. He allegedly brought Taylon to a nearby lake and either threw or placed him into the water. Mosley then went to his mother's house, which was about 10 blocks away from the lake. Taylon's body was found the next day in the jaws of an alligator. Police euthanized the animal and recovered his body. According to Jeffrey's family, she had just started living on her own while taking care of her son. This was her first month to have lived here and very happy to have a better place than what she had before, said Theo Brickhouse Sales, Jeffrey's great-aunt. And for a 20-year-old, she was doing well. She wanted more out of life. It is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones, he said. Thomas Mosley now faces 2 first-degree murder charges and remains in the Pinellas County Jail. As of this report, he has an appointed public defender and pled not guilty to. Mosley serves as a reminder of the importance of safety, vigilance, and compassion. For those who are suffering in silence, there is help available. No one should have to live in fear, and no one should have to endure the pain of losing loved ones to violence. In memory of Pashun and Talon, may their story inspire change and encourage us all to take a stand against domestic violence. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available. Reach out to your local resources or call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. Thanks for watching. Peace and blessings.